This is Alcampo Hunting Podcast. I'm Jacobo Artee. In this episode, I have a hunter from Minnesota. And so this guy came down to Sonora, Mexico, looking for, was starting his journey in the mountains, looking for the pinnacle or our mountains. He's looking for he came down looking for a Desert Bighorn sheep, and he was success. So, welcome, Mike.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Congratulations on your ram, and that's a great way to start this journey for looking for sheep from the North America.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, I'm thrilled to have been able to take an animal with that age class, and the experience that I had with you guys was incredible.
Yeah. So, tell us who is Mike? Who is Mike? Where he from? What he likes? Where he started giving that passion for the hunting?
Yeah, I'll give you a little bio of Mike. So I am from Minnesota. So, you go through just about every state you can and get almost to the Canadian border, and you'll find where I live. Not far from Minneapolis. So grew up actually in southern Minnesota, and then moved up towards the cities when I was a young kid. Got into hunting. My dad's side of the family's been in hunting for generations and generations. Big into waterfowl, but big game as well. Mostly local animals. So we've got deer, and we've got like I said, a lot of waterfowl hunting and stuff like that in Minnesota. That's kind of what we do. So started hunting. Started going with when I was just a kid. 4 years old or 5 years old. Started hunting, shot my first duck when I was, I think, 8 years old. Did a lot of that kind of stuff. And then kind of, as most people do, you evolve and kind of find different things that you like. So you get into deer hunting and you start doing that stuff. I got into bow hunting in my teenage years and started doing more deer hunting and stuff like that. And, my dad's influence on that stuff was pretty big, especially with the waterfowl, but with getting into that. And then kind of evolved, and you get a little bit older, and you maybe make a trip out west, and you do an antelope hunt, and then it's like, oh, this is different. There's a whole world out here, So then you start doing mule deer hunts, and then you get into some elk hunts, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of the evolution of my hunting career, and been able to take a lot of different animals, moose and like I said, elk and mule deer and lots of whitetails and stuff like that. So, but I'm a Minnesota resident, have been my whole life. Family lives there. My little 8-year-old actually went on her first hunt. Now, she didn't shoot, but she went on her first hunt this year. I got to tell you, that and my Desert Bighorn hunt are my pinnacles. Those are my best two hunts. So my 8-year-old daughter, she likes everything. She's a tomboy, but she likes princesses and dresses and stuff too.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. They're all like, you've got a daughter.
Yes.
You've got an 8-year-old, I think, right?
Same deal. Yes.
Yeah, same deal. So she goes on this antelope hunt with me this year, and we're in West River, South Dakota, and we're out there glassing a lot like what we did. You're finding glassing points. Find a glassing point, look around. Maybe you see something, maybe you don't. Keep going. Well, we found an antelope that on the second day, and we were only there for 3 days. So we found one on the second day, and I'm like, let's go take a closer look. And I knew it wasn't a big pronghorn or anything like that, but I'm like, all right, this is going to be a great experience. We'll do a stock. So we set up the glass, we set up the spotting scope. All right, we got to get a little closer. Let's get up there. Put your little backpack on, and she's got her full camo suit and all that stuff on. And we do a little stalk up there and get up to the top of this ridge, and I'm like, all right, he's 275 yards away. Take a look at him in the spotter. So she gets up in the spotter, and I'm like, pretty cool, huh? I'm like, all right, let's go find another one. She looks at me and she goes, what? Whoa, what do you mean? we gotta you want to take him? We can. And she goes, yeah, we got to take him, Dad. We got to take him. So we get a little bit closer, and I get her behind me. So I get her behind me a little bit so the muzzle break's not too loud and all that stuff. All right, cover your ears, but, watching this and everything, she watches it. and you know, I smoked them and dropped them and everything, and she's cheering and all this stuff. Oh, it was the greatest thing in the world. So that was a pretty cool experience for me, you know. And I've been on a pretty fair amount of hunts throughout my life, but that was earlier this year, and then I followed up with I took a couple other animals this year, but followed up with my Desert Bighorn. I mean, it's been quite a journey.
Yeah,
it's been quite a journey.
So tell me about that decision. Why Alcampo hunting? Why Sierra El Alamo? No.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. So I actually am involved with the Wild Sheep Foundation, as you guys are. I know you're very connected with it. So I'm actually a director on the Midwest chapter, and I get involved with nationals. I go to Reno every year for the sheep show, and that's a fun experience. And actually, the opportunity that I got was through the sheep show at one of the banquets. So why Sierra El Alamo is special to me is the conservation minded part of it. And I think what you guys have done out there with with transplanting animals and with how you do it, the success that you've done, how you set up water stations, all the work that you guys have put in with habitat, making sure that they've got feed, making sure that they've got water. And then when you do transplant the animals and relocate the animals, you're doing it in a way that's it's disease control. You know,
yeah,
you're quarantining the animal. Yeah,
we have to.
There's such a sensitive animal. Yep. You know, wild sheep are, they're these majestic rams. You know, they're just raw power, right? But they're they're fragile.
They're real fragile.
Yeah,
I mean, they can die real easy.
Yeah, and if I have this right, when you guys relocate these animals, you're capturing, you're quarantining, you're testing, and then you're transferring them to the ranch. And you have a corral, I believe it's 6 weeks or so that you...
At least 6 weeks. It's a soft corral, so they can get used to that new area.
Yeah.
And at least they know if there's something wrong during summer or at some point of the release, they know there's water there. You know?
Yeah.
And there's food or whatever, But
yep.
they can always come back. And they do.
They do come back.
They do come
back.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of a safety net for them.
Mm-hmm.
So the soft corral is actually right next to the kind of the highest peak at Sierra El Alamo.
It is.
Yes. So that kind of it attracts them to get into the mountains, and there's water stations that are pretty close to that too.
We start at the beginning. We start with a couple of water stations around, and but then we start adding more and more and more and more, and now they can go farther and farther and farther. That's the purpose of the release, so they can meet some other animals farther down and invite some others to come, and so they can start crossing blood, genes, and back and forth, and that's part of the program, so they can go out and be free.
So a great example of what you're talking about is the ram that I shot. Because the ram that I shot, we believe to be of original genetics to Sierra El Alamo from before the relocation stuff started.
For sure. You're going to harvest an animal that we believe is 12 year old.
Yeah.
So that one born right there.
Yeah, and he was with
an
animal that had a collar on him that we know was relocated.
Yep. So we just released that one last year, so old ones with new ones together.
Beautiful.
So that speak really good of the program that we're putting together.
Yeah, and those bloodlines, like you said, you've got some cross going on, and it's working. Everything's working out there great. So it's the property is absolutely gorgeous. I tell you, it's beautiful. The Sonoran Desert. I've done quite a bit of hunting in Arizona. So I'm kind of familiar with Southern Arizona with the terrain and all that stuff, and I just love it. And your guys is about as beautiful as I've seen.
Yeah, you told me about that, and actually I asked you about you find some different country than close to Phoenix or around Phoenix. Like you said, it's pretty similar. Maybe they are missing a couple, like the bloody bush,
bush, yeah.
That it makes most of the animals so dark in the horns or so reddish colors,
Yeah.
So that that dark color is really characteristic of our desert.
Yeah, and it is. It makes those. It makes them beautiful. I love that color in there.
Yeah. So tell us about this hunt. So what was your expectation and what you see? How do you live the whole process? Like even since you arrived to our airport here in Hermosillo, all that process. I explain to my hunters, to our clients, all the time, where they're gonna live. I mean, you're gonna pass by this and this and that. That is pretty easy, but it's better that hear that someone that just came and lived that experience.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if anybody needs to talk to somebody that's been through it, absolutely have them call me because I can walk through everything. I'll tell you, I was on a moose hunt in Canada earlier this year, and it was not an easy process. But coming into Hermosillo, so I flew from Minneapolis, of course. So you get into Hermosillo and went through customs there. And I'll tell you, you get off the plane, and there's English-speaking people there right away to help you guide you through the customs process. But there's some gentlemen there that help hunters that come through specifically. So you've got tourists and you've got residents. And then you've got actual like hunter tourists, and the hunters. I believe I got some special. I felt like I got special treatment. So they come in and they've got some carts, and they'll grade all your baggage and help you out and bring you through to the special line that's just for hunters. That you pass all the other tourists and you get over there. And then the military guys and the custom guys came together, so it expedited the system. It went very quickly. Signed all our paperwork, and got through. The customs part of it took customs and military together. Maybe took 15 minutes. I don't even know if it was 15 minutes. And then you're walking through the gate. The guy helps me with my luggage the whole way because I got gear and I got my firearm. They check your firearm and all that, of course. I got my gear, I got my firearm, I got my, my clothes pack and all that kind of stuff. They put it back on the cart, bring it right out to where you were. There's Jacob. Hey, Jacob, how you doing? That was easy. Yeah. So bring it out to the truck and we go. That was it. And I tell you, I've never had a border crossing experience that was that simple. It was a breeze. It was great. So, yeah.
That's great. So now you're here, guys. It's a really easy process to even bringing your gun, coming hunting here in Sonora. So you're welcome. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, no, don't be afraid at all. I mean, the border crossing part of it and flying into Hermosillo, that's the way to do it. You could probably cross through and drive through, but crossing through Hermosillo, I mean, that's the way to go. That was really easy. So we do that, then head out to the ranch, and the ranch is a couple hours away. So you're going kind of northwest towards the coast. Easy drive, it's all paved roads and everything till you get to the ranch and everything. And then, I tell you, the reception that you get when you get there makes you feel really at ease. So you're in Mexico, you're in a foreign country. You don't really know what to expect, but I tell you, everyone is so nice, gracious, welcoming, so glad to see you there. And it's all, you're the hunter there. And you've got, I think, there was 8 people in camp or something like that with us. Everybody's there to help you out. So
we always happy to. We wait, we wait all year for this season.
Yeah,
and we're making a living because you guys, So
yeah.
So we're here doing this because there's people like you that they want to come and hunt with us, So. It's the less that we can do, hey, welcome, you're here. We're going to have a great time. And our goal is so you can be success, and enjoying your hunt,
Well, I enjoyed it. So I had Jacob and 2 of Jacob's got 3 brothers, and 2 of them were in camp with me. So I've got Jacob, Javier, and George in there with me. Mm-hmm. And then Abraham was kind of the other guide. So that's the 4 of us that went out hunting every day. And then Bruno and Oscar were there cooking, and Ivan helping out with everything. He's doing a little bit of everything. So, like I said, the reception was wonderful, and the whole process and experience was just I mean, I can't tell you enough. And the food, I tell you what, man, we ate good. We ate real good.
Yeah, we did well.
Yeah. So the process, so we go out and, the first morning we shoot the gun, we get everything dialed in, we go out and you kind of go from glassing spot to glassing spot and you're just looking for rams. You kind of like almost like take an inventory. So let's go find some sheep. And we actually had a very productive first day. I think we saw 8 rams on the first day.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Something like that. I think we ended counting like 26 animals that day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that was like, I'm like, oh man, there's a lot of animals here. I think like I said, I mean, you're talking to an outfitter and that's why I reference, like if anybody needs to talk to me, I'd be happy to talk to them. Cause when you're just talking to an outfitter that you haven't hunted before, you don't really know what to expect. And there's a lot of animals and you're so affiliated with the Wild Sheep Foundation and everything, that I've got a lot of trust in you guys, but, just to go out and see that many animals right away, it's like, all right, this is so cool, man.
This is the place.
This is the place. This is for sure the place. So that was a cool experience. So yeah, you go out, you hunt, glassing spot to glassing spot. You might, just like I said, just exploring the different canyons and just trying to figure out, where are the rams right now? Are the rams staying in the same place? Or are they moving? Are they after ewes? Or what are they doing? Are they going to water back and forth? Where are those animals? How are they behaving right now? So we kind of figured that out the first day. You go back, you have a margarita, you have a little dinner, you chit chat. So the brothers, you got 3 brothers in camp and these guys are hilarious. So they're kind of going back and forth and you're involved and everybody's just having the greatest thing. It's just it's almost like it's not a party, but it's just a fun atmosphere every evening and every morning. It's just so much fun. We had a great time. So, and I got to ride with George, Jorge and Jacob, when we went from spot to spot and checked out canyons and glassed and stuff like that. So, you really get to know you guys. And I'll tell you, there's a bond that's created, and we're friends for life. I can guarantee you that.
For sure. Yeah.
So pretty cool stuff. So yeah, we went out the second morning and saw a bunch more rams, bunch more ewes. It was a little slow in the morning that second day, but we ended up seeing quite a few. And then what was it, like 3 something in the afternoon, middle of the afternoon, we ended up spotting a ram and, he was quite a ways away.
He was.
And I look over at you and you look over at me and you're like grinning. I go, yeah, he looks good. You're like, oh yeah, he's a good one. So, I think you said, you're like, yeah, he might be 12.
Yeah.
So I'm like, ooh, that sounds pretty good. Yep. Age class is a big deal. We had talked about that at a time. We're like, age class is the most important thing for me, above and beyond score or anything like that. I like character and I like age. That's kind of, that's what I want.
If there's option and luck, sometimes it's just timing, you're there and you find a old ram. Hey, let's take that one,
Yeah. And it's that whole create your luck thing, right? You don't know what the animals are going to do. Put yourself in position.
For sure. You don't know.
Yep. So we got lucky because that's kind of what I was looking for. So, but anyway, I was all like, let's go after this ram. And you guys are looking at it and you're like, I know now that what you were thinking was, this guy has no idea how long this is going to take. Cause I'm like, let's go. And you guys are like, I don't think so, Mike. I think we're going to have to, let's just see what he does here. And you and Javier were talking and, you're explaining like, all right, we might have a little bit of rain tonight. It looks like the wind's going to be pretty strong. We're pretty confident this ram's going to be in this canyon or an adjacent one tomorrow morning. I think the best thing we can do is to sit on it. Let's back out. We're not even going to go pressure him any closer. Let's back out. See, he should be here. We'll get him in the morning, Mike, or we'll find him in the morning, not get him, but we'll go find him in the morning. So we go back and I'm thinking, oh man, that's the ram I want, man. That's the ram I want. So anyway, but you guys know what you're doing and I complete trust. And we went back and talked about it and had dinner, same thing, right? Yeah. Having a great time and everything. And Yeah, we went back, got up early, got out early, and we're able to locate that ram somewhere in between 8 and 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was early, quick. And that was good timing because they were
going
leaving.
Over. Yeah, they were going over into the next canyon.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, we located them, and it's when that ram was located, and you're like, that's the same ram. There's like a switch that went off, and all of a sudden, Jacob and George are into go. Let's go. Let's go. And it's like, okay, we're going. And that was so much fun. So we went around the canyon, got into a position where we could try to relocate them from the other side. We had the wind right, and it had more access opportunity from that angle. So we got up all the way on the other side, and we located them eventually. We had to cross. We got down onto that glassing knob, and we're able to see them and put a play on them. So Jacob and I went around to the north. We're basically around a spine, and we're able to, we had to go a little ways to get into position.
It took us an hour to get there.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I mean, of course you can do it in less time, but we're gonna take our time and make sure we don't make roll rocks or making the whole noise. You know, so
slow when you got to go slow, quick when you got to make up some ground and that kind of thing. So a good stalk or getting into position. Had a little run in with another animal on the way there. So
that I don't know what was that. Maybe it was a cat.
Yeah. Probably a cat. There's not a lot of cats in the range, but we think that was a cat. So, making that sound. But
I don't want to make that sound because I don't know how it's gonna sound.
It sounded like a cat.
It was weird sound.
Yeah, it was. So anyway, we got into position, and we got into position around 1:00. I think is about when we got in there.
Yep.
It got into a spot where we could. Well, first we got into a spot we couldn't see them. We saw a couple of ewes. Went a little further. Up the spine, got into some craggy rocks, and got into a good position where I was comfortable with the rifle, and you were able to glass them and keep an eye on them. So that was pretty cool. And we waited for maybe a half hour or something like that.
Yeah, I will say yes, half hour, and until he stands up and.
Yeah, well, and the younger ram he was up feeding with some ewes. And my old ram was bedded under a Palo Verde tree, so we kind of just sat and waited for him to stand up. And he followed the script perfectly, and it all came together, and we were able to put a good shot on him. And I'll tell you, the emotion that happens after you're able to take your first wild sheep is pretty incredible, and something that I'll never forget.
Yeah,
that was there was maybe a tear or two shed there by me, so pretty special experience.
Oh, no, it's not easy,
No,
it's a big hand.
It is.
It represents a lot of stuff,
It does. It represents a lot. That's a good way to put it, and it's part of that journey that you talked about. That's what it's all about. But man, it's different than the other animals. That's for sure.
For sure. Well, thank you, Mike. I will look forward to do more hunts with you for sure. And like you said, now we have fun together, and it's not only a hunting situation or whatever. I think we're gonna be friends for so long. And, we're in the same age. So I think we're gonna grow up together.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
Sure
Sorry.
That's how it goes, man. We can't change Father Time. That's for sure. Yeah. So great experience.
So one more time, congratulations for this wonderful hunt, and I want to keep tracking on your hunts. Keep me posted what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I will. I'll be bugging you with all kinds of updates and stuff like that. And I do the same, because some of the rams that these guys are killing are incredible. And the experience, I'm gonna really enjoy following on social media Alcampo and Sierra El Alamo, and seeing all the stuff that you guys are doing down here. It's really incredible what you guys have done with that ranch and with the animals and the mule deer and the goose deer and everything that's in the dove hunts that you guys do and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool.
Well, now that you're saying yes, we put a lot of efforts in that ranch, and some organization like Wild Sheep Foundation is helping us in this project, and there we really have a really good connection with them, speaking of working, in conservation programs. And yes, we put this program for the sheep, but it benefits whatever is around, So mule deer, goose deer, even doves. You see a lot of doves, quails all around.
Well, other birds, all reptiles, everything's benefiting from that. Yeah, you guys are doing some great work.
I mean, you put water in the desert. I mean, that's gold.
Yeah. Well, and you can see it too. So you go by these water stations that are set up, and there's an intricate system with all this. It's amazing what you guys have done. The amount of work that you guys have put into this property is insane. It's so cool, but you can see the animals that are using. You approach a water station and the tracks and the birds and the little critters that are up in there. You might run into some ungulates too. There might be coos deer there. There might be mule deer there, but you can see that there's all kinds of animals that are using that water, and
definitely
pretty cool.
Definitely is helping the whole wildlife.
Yeah, that's a healthy ecosystem that you've got there, and that's 80,000 acres. So you can do a lot with that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a big piece of property, and we'll keep expanding more water, and to give more opportunities to other animals to survive, especially in those 120 degrees summers that we have,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you got to have water at that for sure.
Yeah.
So
water is life in this.
Water is life in the desert. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you one more time, and congratulations. Let's shake hands.
Appreciate it, man.
You're welcome. Okay, so follow us, guys, and look at us in all the social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, iPod podcast. So see you soon.
Estudio B. Dale voz a tus ideas en Estudio D.